Foremost, let me take this opportunity to thank for this opportunity to put a few things right, to share from where we sit in the National Treasury. You are aware that, we've been hit by this shock like no other, no experience, no reference point any time in history of this country. And therefore, IMF, which is one of the most important financial institutions, predicted doom for the global economy. They predicted a growth of negative 4.9% of GDP for all economies across the globe. That is massive. And through this, and then Kenya, they had predicted both in Kenya and the region that we are going to have a negative growth of 1%. And faced by the circumstance, we had to come in and understand how are we going to deal with it. Of course, trade has been affected, the productive sector has been affected, the financial services have been affected, and therefore also there is the compelling need to continue servicing the country, particularly in expending more on the health sector. And as a result of this, under the direction of our President, we are to come out and identify what are the critical elements that needs to be underscored. One, that there has to be a reason as to why we should contain sustaining liquidity in the economy. We are to cushion business, create, if not create, but at least sustain the jobs that are there. And additionally, there are also a significant number of this country, Kenyans, who either lost jobs or lost opportunities, and therefore they needed to be supported. Those were the parameters that we are looking at. And that's how we came with the first line of intervention, by coming up with a combination of both fiscal and monetary measures, by making sure the economy remains liquid. How did we do it? We had to take an equivalent of a pay cut as a government to reduce on the VAT from 16 to 14%. We had to reduce on income tax, both for corporate and individuals. Additionally, we had to forego taxes for any Kenyan who is working, who is earning 24,000 Kenya shilling per month. The net sum of all these, additionally, we also put pressure on governments, both national and the county government, to honor payment of pending bills. We had to carry out a refund of VAT to the tune of 10 billion. Additionally, we also support the vulnerable segment within our society by providing resources to the tune of 10 billion cash. The net sum of addition on the monetary front, the governor of CBK is here. We had to reduce the central bank lending rates from 8.25% to 7.25%. We also had to ask the suspension of listing of loan defaulters in the credit bureau. In addition to a number of other interventions, including even taxes at the lower level.
Right.
And as a result of this, we are to forego Kenya shilling 172 billion in form of lost revenue for the government. But we also did heavy investment, particularly in the areas of the informal settlement, by making new roads, by constructing over 100 boreholes, doing also health facilities. And the net sum of all these is to increase the agile levels of our people, and with a view of also fighting the spread of the pandemic. Now, we came to the second layer. The second layer, because that was the response to the initial shock. But in the medium time, we also came up with a stimulus package, where our motivation is to make sure that we not only create jobs, but provide livelihood for the people. That's why you see the Kazi Mtaani. There works along all these, and the net sum of all these is to substitute mechanization of contracts or, public labor using local labor.
Right.
Making sure that, at the end of the day, we have decent work to do. We can also have money in the pocket and also support the local economy.
So would you say we have built the ability and the speed in our systems to de-escalate?
Very much.
Yeah.
Were it not for those immediate intervention, things will have been different.
Right.
And that's why Kenya is different from the rest of the region. And how is it different? All the vital indicators of the economy are actually, we have disproved the prediction that across the globe. We were expected to grow at a negative 1%, but now our growth is at 2.6%, the highest in Africa.
Okay.
And this is very positive.
Yes.
We have the inflation rate that was predicted actually to go through, the roof. But now we have an inflation rate that's lower than last year around this time, at 4.3, when last year was at 5%.
Okay.
And we are also lucky because God has also given us sufficient rain. We have enough food. And as a result of this, not only the supply of food at a cheaper rate, but also the adverse effect on the manufacturing sector has been mitigated because most of our manufacturing sector is in the agro-processing. I think those are things but importantly, we do not want to stop there. We are looking to the future and we have come up with a recovery process that's going to take us for the number of years, and we are going to look at the micro stability. We are going to look at, resource mobilization, not from loans, but, within by ensuring that the PPP works as expected. And those are and also entrenching the place of ICT, because we've realized that indeed this can be a turnaround of the economy by investing in that area. So those are things that we are looking at.
All right.